This is one of the best builds for early and mid or even late game Mighty Doom. I did it, and if I had to do it all over again, I'd do the same thing. And you're also going to see footage on the side of this build in action in early game. So your primary weapon should be the combat shotgun. Now when you're early on in the game, you probably don't have a bunch of fancy stuff to use, right? You probably have the heavy cannon, the shotgun. So use the shotgun and get up close to your enemies. This build that we're working off is going to be up close, personal, really nasty Slayer. You want to use the shotgun because its damage is different than the heavy cannon, sure, but if you get up close, get all those pellets to connect, you do a ton of pain to them. And this ties in with what I'm going to show you in a second on how to use this to your advantage. So once you go with the shotgun, this is your primary that's up close. We know this much, and learning how to use it. We'll go over the upgrades you need to do in a minute as well. Your next weapon you're going to use for the here is the super shotgun. Now, this is because you have, it's just so good, so much up close damage, so many pellets. You have the meat hook, which pulls you to the enemy, obviously, which is not just for high damage, but for moving and navigation around the arena. Too good. On a boss fight, it will interrupt the boss if they're doing a really nasty attack, meat hook to them, and you'll interrupt them as well. It's just so good in that regard. Now, if you don't have the super shotgun, you're going to want to use the rocket launcher or the Gauss. I went rocket launcher, Gauss, SSG for my build. Now, obviously, you want to go up to the SSG. In fact, I'm using my rare super shotgun over my epic ballista because it's just that good. Now, your next weapon for your super weapon, I use the BFG 9000. We have a few different options here. You're probably going to start off with the chainsaw, which is fine. I used it for a while. You basically activate your chainsaw, you run around invulnerable, and you just saw everything up. After the chainsaw, I moved to the crucible because you have 6 slices around the arena. It keeps you invulnerable, it gets you out of sticky situations, really powerful. Unmaker, I've tried it. It's supposed to be really good for bosses. For me, it just didn't click very well. I think it's just skill issue, honestly. I need to probably just practice it more. But the BFG is basically a room clear. It eliminates a whole stage for you, and it's really good in some boss fights too. Especially, I won't spoiler any, but Necrovol's level 15 boss fight. Really good for that. Of course, if you don't have the BFG, like I said, do the chainsaw. If you don't have the chainsaw, do the crucible. After you graduate from chainsaw, then go to BFG or Unmaker is my choice. For here, use the best thing you have. Ice Bomb is nice because it slows them down, giving you more options here. But you have a lot of other different choices that you can do. If we take a look at what I've got here, we'll go start off. We have the Flame Belch, which does fire damage. Honestly, if I were you, the acid is good because it weakens their defense. So you're out there and you're like, hey, I'm doing a ton of damage to these enemies with my up-close shotgun, super shotgun hits. Well, why don't I weaken their defense on top of that to do even more damage? That's what I'm going to go with right there. We also have the Arc, which weakens their attacks, which is nice. That's fine. Does less damage, keeps you alive longer. Honestly, I would go with the Acid Spit. I really would. This is a frag grenade, does explosive damage, which is fine too. But honestly, like I said, ice is your way to go there. Okay, so what about when we take a look at your Slayers? We'll talk about that in a second. Let's do that now. You start off with the Mini Slayer. That's fine. You know, use it if you want to. Crimson is, from what I hear, it's okay. Whenever you're under 25% health, you do more damage. I've heard it's not too much more damage, so I haven't bought Crimson Slayer. I did get Classic because it's got the most health boost out of all of them, and it also, after taking damage, gain immunity for a short duration. It's not, can't really tell a difference, but hey, it's a good perk. You have it. You get a lot of health. You get some good damage. All Slayers damage resist too, because whatever you get on this suit actually transfers to all the other suits. Like, for example, if you get Mini Slayer 10, all your Slayers get 1% max health. Crimson Slayer, all Slayers get 1% damage. There is no level 80 yet, so this just has to do for now, and then, that's fine. Whatever, that works. Oh, the Gold Slayer. I haven't gotten him, but he's the only one that you don't have to pay real money for. Save up 1,200 gems. Kills have a chance to recharge your secondary weapon. That's cool, especially if you have the super shotgun. It's nice, but the actually main Slayer, chance to instantly kill enemies. I don't know the chance of it, but not bad. When we come over to here, I'm using a demonic helmet. Increases damage and critical chance against demons. That's good. You're doing more damage, which means you're killing them faster. And if you have a lot of health too, that will help keep you alive, obviously. It ups your critical chance to do critical hits, more damage, more power, all those pellets from the shotgun. You gotta go with the critical hits. Just putting out damage is so important in this game, because when you get to a bullet sponge for a boss, you're gonna have a hard time if you just do like 3 damage a hit. And if you're over here doing high damage, high crits, can't go wrong. That's damage for everything, by the way, for your whole suit, whereas this says just for this. I need a little bit of clarification on that. Gauntlets, demonic gauntlets just increases damage. That's really good because not only Are you increasing damage on your main attack? One of the perks of the gauntlet, and it gets better with each tier, is you do even more. Like, I do 16% more damage just because of this here. Now, some other options include extra damage to bosses, but I'm just going to take it all for every enemy, right? Can't go wrong with that, can you? Demonic Chestplate increases max health and damage resistance against all attacks. I mean, it's giving you more health, which is amazing, and it's giving you damage resist against any type of attack out there. 4%. Now, one of my other chest plates, when I was taking a look at that, had actual melee resistance, and when you look at it, it's massive. Now, that's 4% after firing the secondary weapon. We don't want that. Stagger chance is really good to heal, and we don't want that as well. One of them has the boss, but you know what? Melee damage resist. Most of the projectiles in this game are ranged that they're going to hit you by, so I'm looking at this like 15% melee resist is really good, because that's a lot more than 4%, but when most of your hits, even though you're close up and personal with the enemies, are going to be ranged, it doesn't seem to be so good now, does it? Okay, the demonic chestplate, like I just said, we went over that, and the boots are my epic. I have 2 epics. You get max health, which is awesome. Melee and projectile dodge chance to help you dodge. So not only are you beefing your health up more with and damage resist with the chestplate, you're doing extra damage on top with the helmet, more critical with that. The demonic set is just so dang powerful in doing more damage and keeping you alive longer. How can you say no? Especially since this is some of the stuff you can get early game and you do just fine with it. When we go to the masteries, this is random, so you're just going to get what you're going to get. That's fine, you know, do what you can with what you have and just make it work. Now, when it comes to perks in battle, this is interesting. Of course, max health is a good one, but you want the damage boost for sure. If you can get something like multi-shot for your SSG, do that. Get more pellets out there, which is nice. I really, with this build, like the glory kill choices, because you're already getting up close and personal with these enemies. Perfect time to GK them, right? If you're already up right in their face, instant GK. You can have longer extended stagger, which is amazing because you want to have time to get to that enemy over in the field. You can have more damage and speed after a GK. I love that one. You can have more health from glory kills. You can have explosive glory kills, which means just enemies blow up out by you. The point is, unless you do a sentinel in between the matches, and for an event that we've just played tonight, there were no sentinels, glory killing is your only method of getting health. And you're going to be in and out with that shotgun and SSG. You really need that health to keep yourself alive and pushing. If you get more damage from it, that's even all the better. When you look at this build and you can see the gameplay, this is mid-game gameplay, so it's nothing fancy, nothing advanced. This is from one of the Exultia levels, mid-through. You see how I'm going in close, meat hooking in as soon as I go. As soon as the enemies spawn in, I go to the spawn, camp them right in front of them, blast them with the SSG. If it's a big wave, you know, a big spawn, because I know it's a heavy demon, or if it's a smaller, I'll probably just use regular shotgun. And nowadays I use different weapons. I use close. Right now I'm using the chain gun, but when you're starting out and you don't have a lot, you got to make the best use of it. Heavy cannon's nice because when you have all like spread shot, side shot, twin shot, all the upgrades, all the power, all the bullets go everywhere, which is great. And of course, twin shot for the heavy cannon does more damage. It's about 12% more, but I found that it's about 540 damage when I tested it for a single shot and 308 for a double, so you're getting about 12% up. No matter which way you cut it, you have to get up close and personal with this build, so you may as well have the glory kills to back yourself up. Subscribe for more tips, let me know what you think, and check out the next video. I opened 50 crates from the store. I'm freaking insane, right? I'll see you later.